Welcome to Live Daf, your online Daf Yomi Shir.
Shalom Aleichem. Welcome back to today's Daf Yomi, which is Maseches Megillah Daf Chaf. We are holding at the two dots, which are about 10 lines from the top of the Amud. In the Mishnah we learned that Hakoil Ksherin Lukos Megillah. Anybody can read the Megillah and be Moitzi the Rabbim, except for the following three. Chutz mecheresh, shoyte v'katan. Rabbi Yehuda disagreed regarding the katan. Rabbi Yehuda machshe b'katan. Since we're speaking about a katan who is higia lechinuch, he has reached the age of training. He's chayev to do mitzvahs midrabanan. And keep in mind, even for a gadol, mitzvahs megillah is only midrabanan. Therefore, says Rabbi Yehuda, there should be no problem for a katan to read the Megillah on behalf of a gadol. Rabbi Yehuda. Rabbi Yehuda says, I'll prove my point with a personal story. Katan Yisi. I recall when I personally was a katan, v'karisia lamala, and I read the Megillah on Purim, standing above, meaning on the bima. Rabbi Tarfon, v'skenim balud. And they were listening to me. They were being yaitze through my Kriyas HaMegillah. At least that's what he thought. Amr Loi the Chacham respond, Ein mivin rayim na katan. One cannot prove anything from testimony offered by a katan. This happened when you were a katan. You can't prove anything from that. The Mefarshim add, perhaps they were just listening to you out of politeness, but they were personally yaitze elsewhere. So this doesn't prove anything. We have another brisa, Tanya, Amar Rebbe. Rebbe also holds like Rabbi Yehuda, that a katan is kasha to read the Megillah. And he says, look, I have a personal story as well to prove this point. Katana Yisi. I recall when I was a youngster, V'karisiel Lamal Rabbi Yehuda. I read the Megillah on Purim in front of Rabbi Yehuda. Apparently it works. 1 second. Rabbi Yehuda himself is certainly a mater. What's the raya from the stories? The Mefarshim explain, true. Rabbi Yehuda is of the opinion that it works. But the fact is, most of the Chacham disagree. So typically, you say, Yochid v'Rabbim, you follow the Rabbim. The fact that Rabbi Yehuda took the liberty, so to speak, to actually carry out this halacha and allow a katan to read, this proves something. This proves that it has credence. It's a correct shita. Amr Loi, but the Chacham responded, no. Nevertheless, Ein mevin rayim na mater. You proving from who? Rabbi Yehuda? Sure, he holds that it's kosher. But the Chacham disagree, and we have to follow the Rabbim. Asks the Gemara, why can't the Chacham just respond to Rebbe in a most simple manner? Ein mevin rayim na katan. You're recalling something that happened when you were a youngster. Doesn't prove anything. Why did they have to add this point that Rabbi Yehuda is the mater? You don't need that additional argument. Chada v'oid ka'amar. Actually, there are two reasons. Chada, one more simple, v'oid ka'amar. In addition to the simple reason, we have the second reason. Number one, chada, the katan yisa. Right off the bat, you're a katan, doesn't have nemanos. V'oid, on top of that, I feel a gadol yisa, even if you were a gadol at that time, and you were relating something that happened when you were a gadol, ein mivin rayim na mater. You can't prove anything from Yehuda. He's the mater. He stuck to his opinion. But the Chacham stuck to theirs. They're chaylik on him. They didn't concede to him. And therefore you cannot have a katan read the Megillah. Now Taisus, which is actually on the Few Testament base, did Ramasal read the Machshir, elaborates on this Gemara. What is the reason for Shitas Chachamim? We already explained that we're speaking about a katan. He's chayev to do mitzvahs midrabanan. And keep in mind, Kriyas HaMegillah per se is only mitzvah midrabanan to begin with. So why can't a katan who has a chiyuv midrabanan be mighty a gadol in his chiyuv midrabanan? Taisus offers a novel chiddush. He says the difference between one drabanan and a double drabanan. Sure, the chiyuv of a gadol in Mikra Megillah is only with the Rabbanan. That's a single Rabbanan. When a katan reads the Megillah, he's involving himself in a double dip d'Rabbanan, a double decker d'Rabbanan. Number one, he's only chayiv a mitzvah, it's d'Rabbanan, any mitzvah. For him is only d'Rabbanan. But he has a double handicap. We're speaking about a mitzvah d'Rabbanan on top of that. It's only Megillah, which is d'Rabbanan. So he's engaged in a double mitzvah d'Rabbanan, two deficiencies. And therefore he cannot be mitzi. A gadol, a mikra Megillah, which is only a single d'Rabbanan. So that's the svara of the Shitas Chachamim. Apparently, Rabbi Yehuda doesn't subscribe to that. He says, look, this is d'Rabbanan, that's d'Rabbanan. Whether it's one or two, it doesn't matter. So since the katan is chayiv d'Rabbanan, he can be mitzi, anybody, with their mitzvahs mikra Megillah, which is also d'Rabbanan. Continues the Mishnah. We're going to have a list of things, of mitzvahs, that can only take place during daytime. Ein kernes ha-Megillah. Reading the Megillah is only by day. V'loi malan, nor can you do mitzvah smila unless it's daytime. V'loi toivlan, one who is tummy, and it's his seventh day, he's a zav, he's a tmei meis. He can't do it at night, the previous night, going into the seventh, although the night is sort of the initiation of the next day. But you need day, you need daylight, actual yom. V'loi mazn, Rashi learns, the hazah of the paraduma water can only take place by day. V'chein shemiras yom k'neged yom. This is an isha who's passed her 7 Yemei Nida. She enters her Yemei Ziva, in which case if she has a Re'iyas Dam one day, she has to keep one day clean, corresponding to the day of the Dam. Shemeras Yom K'neged Yom. And then she can be tevel on that second day. Lo titbol asher tanetz hachama. She must wait until daybreak, until sunrise, to be tevel. So in all these cases, Megillah, Tvilah, you have to wait until Neitz hachama. However, in all these cases, if they went through this procedure after Aleis HaShachar, after dawn, even prior to sunrise, it shouldn't be done, but b'diavad it works. Let's go over to Rashi, around 10-12 lines up. Masnisan, v'loy toivlan. He's a zav, he has to wait 7 days and then be tevel. A tmei meis as well. We do not say as soon as nightfall, prior to the 7th day arrives, he's ready for tefillah. You don't say that. You have to wait until the next morning. Although typically, Laila is considered the initiation of the next day. In these cases, you need actual daylight. But of course, as Rashi points out, we don't mean Dafka day 7 as opposed to day 8. Dafka day 7 as opposed to 7 at night, the following night. No, you can do it then too. So at a minimum, you have to have arrived at day 7, daytime of day 7. But that's only the starting point. If you haven't been tevel then, according to some shittas, tefillah bezman mitzvah. Okay, if you missed that opportunity, you can do it the following night, etc. Why would the Mishnah add this additional variation of a tameh? It would be included in the words Eloi Toivlan. The Gemara explains. So in all these cases, you wait until Neitz hachama. In which case you're out of any uncertainty. You see the sun. You know it's daytime. But in all cases, if they did it after Aleis HaShachar, it works. Why? Technically, starting from dawn, that's considered daytime. So according to Rashi, the reason why we advise you to wait till Neitz hachama, until sunrise, is because not everybody's an expert. It can lead to confusion. Has the dawn broke or not? We're not sure. It's not a clear sign. Not everybody's bucking, therefore we advise you to wait until Neitz hachama. But technically, api halacha, daytime begins from Aleis HaShachar and you yetzer. in all these cases. The Rabbeinu Yoin in Brachas disagrees. He learns that the Ikar Yoim, halachically, the Ikar Tchilas HaYoim is Netzach Hama, when you have the presence of the sun, which creates day. The Gemara in Talmud actually refers to the sun as Yoim, Keneged HaYoim. Sun creates day. Sun represents day. And that's why l'chatchila, you have to wait until Netzach Hama when you have the presence of the Yom of the sun. But the Eved, even Alas HaShachar, is somewhat related to daytime and Yud Yetzeh as well. So even though you don't have the actual sun there, but you have the light of the sun, which has already arrived. Says the Gemara Minolan, how do we know Megillah is only B'Yom? So these days are meant to be remembered through the Kriyas HaMegillah, Hayamim Hayla, during daytime. B'Yom in, B'Layla, during day, but not during night. What do you mean? Leimat Yavat Hufter of Shimon Levi. If so, there's going to be a kasha. Adam Shimon Levi. Dam Rav Shimon Levi. Chayav Adam the Kriyas HaMegillah B'Layla. Shnoisa B'Yom. We learned this back on Daf Daled. We read the Megillah twice. Once at night, once by day. And here we say, you only read by day? Kiktani Adi Yom. When the Mishnah speaks about Megillah taking place after Netzach Hama, that's the daytime recital. In addition to the nighttime Kriyas HaMegillah. V'lo Yimolan, Milah takes place only during daytime. Dechsiv ubayayim hashmina yimol b'sar alasa. Asks Taisus Akasha, if Milah is limited to daytime, then why in Kedushin does the Gemara have to bring a pasuk that an Isha's not chayiv to mal her son? Why do you need a pasuk for that? If mitzvah smila is limited to daytime, that's considered a time-related mitzvah. Mitzvah seishas man groma, which in any case an Isha's pata from. Answers Taisus in the second teretz. Perhaps the Gemara there is speaking about mila shaloi bezmana. So sure, the 8th day mila takes place by day. But once it's past the 8th day, perhaps you can do it whether it's daytime or nighttime. There's such a shita, in which case it's no longer a time-related mitzvah. It takes place anytime, 24 hours a day. Perhaps an Isha is included, and that's why we need a pas. Then Isha is exempt from applying milah to her son, even if it's shalei b'zman. It's a chiyuv, it's an obligation on the father, not on the mother. Says the Gemara, "V'lo tov v'lo mazon." Why? D'chsiv v'hiza hatar al-tameh b'yom hashvi. So the hazah of the Ephah paraduma takes place during daytime only. V'iskesh tefillah lahazoya. And the pasuk includes v'rachas b'mayim, that is tefillah connected to hazoya, hazoya by day and tefillah by day. V'chein shemer Hashem connected yoyim, l'yisit b'alter Netzach Hama. This Isha experienced a re'iyah. She has to wait until the next morning to be teivel. Pshita, of course. Why would it be different than the other individuals? The individuals that are teivel dafka by day. Ma'ishna shemer Hashem connected yoyim. Mikol chayav tefillas. Why does the Mishnah have to single it out and spell it out? Isn't it included in the other chayav tefillas, who can only be teivel by day? Istrich, there is a reason to mention it here. There's a chiddush. Sakad adachamina. Perhaps I would say, tihavi kri'ir rishayna shel zav. Perhaps when the Isha has a re'iyas dam, one experience of dam during these Yimei Ziva. So again, we're speaking that she's past her Yimei Nida. She enters the 11 Yimei Ziva, which means that during those 11 days, if she experiences dam, they're considered Ziva, so those are potential Yimei Ziva. She sees only once, only one day. She doesn't yet have all the chumros of counting 7 clean days, etc. All she needs to do is wait till the next morning and be teivel. So perhaps it's a lighter form of tumah, it's a less severe experience. It's merely like the re'iyah rishayna shel zav, like a man who has one experience of ziva. It's not considered too severe. U're'iyah rishayna shel zav iskish l'bal keri. We find that the pasuk connects the fellow who saw the ziva to the fellow who had a keri experience, slightly different type of a mission, but very similar in halacha. D'chsiv zeis teiras hazav So we find that the pasuk kind of connects the one-time zav experience to the keri experience, and therefore we would say, Ma bal keri tevel b'yom, just as bal keri, as soon as he decides to be tevel, he can be tevel. He doesn't have to wait until the next day. Right? A man experiences keri, he runs straight to the mikveh. Hi nami litbol b'yom. So perhaps this isha as well should be tevel right on the day of Re'iyah. She doesn't have to wait until the next day. Just as we find by Balkari can do so. A Zav, who has only one Re'iyah, can do so. Perhaps an Isha as well. She has one Dam experience, go straight to the mikveh. You don't need to wait till the next morning. But certainly by the Isha, that's not the case. She can't be table on the day of the experience. Why? Whenever she has a ziva experience, we treat it somewhat like a nida. Kimishkav nidasa yela. We treat it somewhat like a nida. The Gemara Nida Daf Gimel discusses this in great length. That we learn from here that the isha has to wait until the next morning. The isha has to have one clean day, so to speak, to undo her experience. So she can't be table today, that's for sure. But maybe tonight's fine. But Laila Mia, Belelia Mias, Le'avad Mixas Shimur. V'titbo. Perhaps waiting until tonight, where she gets to the beginning of the next day. Mixas Shimur. Although it's not a complete day of Shimur, but perhaps nighttime already accomplishes something. She's already entered into the next day without an experience. She's already experiencing somewhat of a clean experience. The Mixas Hayom, or in this case the Mixas Halayla, should give her what she needs, v'titbol, and allow it to be tabled right then and there. So again, about keri, sees the keri, jumps into the mikveh today. Same thing with a zav. But this issue is a zava. Clearly can't do that. We learn from a pasuk. She has to wait, get past this day. Perhaps once she enters someone to the following day, even if it's just nighttime, that's enough. Kamash Blan, the chiddush of the Mishnah is no. And that's what the Mishnah mentions this case of Shemiras Yom Keneged Yom separate from the others. Because here, she has to wait until the next day. And that's a chiddush that we don't find by the man. Kamashmon, the chiddush of the Mishnah is, it doesn't work. You have to wait until the next morning. Given the Baya Sphira, we learn from Psukim that she has to have something called counting. She has to count a clean day. She has to have a clean experience. And Sphira b'yimamihi, and the chiddush is that just like the Isha was a full-fledged Zava, she had 3 Dam experiences, she has to count 7 clean days. And we learned that from a pasuk. It needs to be 7 clean days. If it's suffer shivas yamim, as Rashi explains here as well. The fact that she has to wait until the next day, it's sort of a micro experience of Sfira Shiva Nekiyim. She has to count 1 clean day, a clean day. So she has to enter into the next morning to experience part of that day, the Tahara, and then she could be Taival. Says Rashi on top, Kamash Malon, the Chiddush is, Kivin the Hay Echad Mishum Sfiri. We require a clean day that corresponds, that parallels the Yom HaTumah, and that's connected to the concept of Sfira. Kedugmas Shiva. Kol Sfira di Imami. Therefore we connect it to Sfira Shiva Nekim, which is a counting of 7 days. Here as well, she has to go into the next day to at least have 1 counted day, and then she could be Tefel. So the Mishnah concludes that although Lichatchila Neitzachama is a trigger point for all these mitzvahs, but V'kulan she'asam she'olam adashachar kasher. If you don't wait until Neitzachama, you do it starting from dawn, starting from Mudah Shachar, it works. Says the Gemara Minah Hanimili, how would we know that daytime starts at Mudah Shachar? Perhaps you have to wait until the sun is visible. Amar Rava, Damakra. Vayikra lekim l'oyer yom. By Sheshes Mebereshis, Hashem calls out l'oyer yom, v'lacheshach kara layla. And we learn that he was calling Lemeiruba. He was calling out to the arriving light. Kurayim. He labeled the day. Vayikra Lakim La'or. The arriving light. Hashem gave the name, the label. He classified it as Yom. Which means, even prior to sunrise, just the light on its own, the developing light, the arriving light, is already considered Yom. Elamiata, if that's the case, what about V'lacheshech Kara Laila? Are you going to say the same there? L'machshech ba Kara Laila? The onset of darkness, the arriving cheshech. Once it starts getting dark, meaning after Shkias Hachama, when the sun is no longer visible, and darkness is slowly descending upon us. Kara Laila? Is that already considered nighttime? But it's not true. Hakay Milan, we know for a fact, La Halacha, the Atzes HaKachavim Lav Leilahu. Until you actually see those twinkling stars. Lav Leilahu, it's not considered nighttime. So you can't really learn from this pasuk because if the arriving light is considered Tchilas Hayom, then the arrival of darkness should be considered Laila. Elam Rabzeir Mahacha. Let's go to another pasuk. V'anachnu oisim b'malacha. They were involved in the Binyan Beis Hamikdash. They were engaged in construction. V'chet shemachzikim b'ramachim, and half of the people there are holding on to the spears. They're guarding the workers. This went on the entire day. Me'aleis hashachar, starting from dawn, atzis ha'kachavim, until the stars are visible. So apparently, that's considered a day's work. From alois till tzeis. Vaymer, another pasuk. V'hayilanu halayla l'mishmar, v'yem l'malacha. Nighttime was for guarding, for watching. Daytime for work. My v'aymer, what's the point of the added pasuk? V'chitema, perhaps you can say. Don't bring me a raya from the first pasuk. True, they worked from Alis HaShach all the way to Teisek Chav. They put in extra hours, extra long day of work due to their excitement in building the Beis Hamikdash. V'chitem, perhaps you can say that halachically, that's not considered. The unit of day doesn't start from Alis HaShach all the way to Teisek Chav. Misha'olam et HaShachar lav yimamahu. Perhaps halachically, daytime doesn't start from Melissa Shachar. Perhaps you have to have the presence of the sun, starting from Netzachama. Conversely, perhaps as soon as the sun sets, as soon as we have Shkias Hachama, nighttime begins. So perhaps it's meant to be a shortened day, starting from Netz till Shkia. That's it, because perhaps day is determined by the sun's presence, which only starts from Netz HaChama, concludes by Shkias HaChama. V'inu makadmi machashchi. Yeah, those workers, they were all excited. They would get up early. They would start working by Leis HaShachar, before daybreak, before the Yom actually began. And they stayed late, machashchi, until Tzeisak HaChavim passed the end of the day. So what's the right from there? Tashma, that's why we have the actual pasuk. V'hayilanu halayla mishmar v'yem melacha. Pasuk is adding that when they worked, that was considered Yom. Yom is melacha. When did they work? They started from Alois HaShachar all the way to Teisek Hachavim. So you see, the day is really an expanded day. As soon as you're experiencing some light, daytime has arrived, and it carries on for as long as you still have light in the sky. Even past Shkias Hachama, the presence of light is considered daytime. And nighttime only arrives when there's no trace of light any longer. It starts twinkling, and it's fully dark. So Taisus asks a kasha. If it's so clear to us that Kaimelon, that Tzeisak Hachavim, makes night. So what's the pshat that is machlekes regarding Ben Hashmashos? The Gemara Shabbos tells us there's something called Ben Hashmashos, twilight zone, between day and night. So after Shkia until Tzeis, it's Ben Hashmashos, period of uncertainty. And there's a whole machlekes, Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yossi there. How long does Ben Hashmoshes stretch for? What do you mean? It's pretty clear. As soon as you have the stars out, it's nighttime. Until then, it's day. Stasis says, because the Gemara there tells us that when we speak about Tzeisak Gechavim, we are referring to certain stars. Not too large, which are visible during daytime, not too small, which you have a hard time seeing even at night. Something in between, medium-sized stars. And that creates the uncertainty. What exactly is considered Beinani? So there's a period in time where we're not sure. The question is, how long does that period stretch for? Rabbi Yehuda, Rabbi Yossi, everyone has different opinions. And that's the basis of the concept of Ben Hashmoshes. Continues the Mishnah. Kol yom kashal kriyas Megillah. One can read the Megillah the entire day of Purim, from morning to night. So although lechatchila, as Rashi brings, it's reason magdim mitzvahs, but technically, the Zman stretches the entire day. Likewise, when it comes to halal, shofar, blowing shofar. Now the Meiri points out that unlike the previous Mishnah, where we had pretty much discussed things which can take place anytime, even after that day is over, Milah and Tefillah, except for Kriyas and Megillah. Otherwise, the other items on the list are things which aren't really limited to today. Here, we're discussing primarily things which expire after the day is over. Kriyas HaHalal, it's only today, not tomorrow. Tkiyah Shofar, Tilas Lulav, all these things can be performed any time throughout the day. Ul Tfilas HaMusafan, to daven Musaf. Ul Musafan, the actual Korban Musaf in the Mikdash. Ul Vidya Purim, confessing over the Purim, Rashi says, the Parhel and Davashal Tzibur, various Korbanos which the Tzibur or the Kohen Gadol will bring upon transgressing a serious Aveir. So the Vidya can take place any time from morning to night. Ulevidu Meiser, on the Erev Pesach of the 4th and the 7th year, you get up and you make a vidu. I addressed all my master obligations. So again, that takes place only during daytime. Ulevidu Yom Kippurim, Kohen Gadol's vidu Yom Kippur over the Karbanis. L'smicha, leaning on the carbon. L'shchita, l'tnufa, waving the carbon back and forth, up and down. L'gasha, taking the mincha, making contact with the mizbeach, the Marav Darim corner of the mizbeach. L'kmitza, scooping out that palm full of mincha is like it corresponds to the shchita and the carbon. Ulaktora, being makta the kmitza. Ulamalika, this is sort of the shchita of the bird with the kain's nail. Ulakabala, being makabal dam of the korbanos. Ulazoya, applying the dam on the mizbeach. Lashkoya soita, Nisha was straight. She drinks the mei soita only by day. Lorifasa egla, you find a person who was killed on the road, murderer unknown. The city nearby has to bring a carbon and be oirif, this egla, to behead this calf. That only takes place by day. Ultaras mitzvah, the whole process of the mitzvahs tahara with a bird, etc. So all these things are meant to be done during daytime. Kol halayla, kosher. What about at night? You can bring the kosher l'ktir sa'ima. You can cut the barley for the omer mincha. So this is only kosher at night. Suppose you have leftover fats or parts of karbanis. So you can do it. You can be makriv it throughout the night. Zaklal. This is the rule of thumb. Something which is meant to be done during Yom. You can do it any time throughout the day. Conversely, something which is meant to be done at night can be done throughout the entire night. Taisus brings Rabbi Tam that when we say K'tira Sa'im is kosher at night, it goes together with Sfira Sa'im. It's all one and the same as man. And therefore he says, based on our Mishnah, if one forgets Sfira Sa'im at night, he cannot recount. He can't do it by day. But he brings, Taisus brings from Rabbeinu, from the Bahag, that, so Rabbi Tam says, Lo yivarach b'yom. It seems like he's going to redo it. You can count by day, but not with a bracha. And Bahag says clearly that if one forgets at night, he should be meina l'macha b'loi bracha v'chein halacha. He should count the next day, but without a bracha. Because actually there's another Mishnah Menachos. They bring another Mishnah that b'di'evet ksiras ha'ayim by day is also kosher, which also means that sfiras ha'ayim by day is kosher. So chatchil we follow our Mishnah, but it seems like b'di'evet you can count by day, but don't do it with a bracha. Oh, now the Bahag adds that this only applies if he forgets at night. But let's say he forgot an entire day. He skipped one day of Sfiras Ha'ayim, night and day. Then going forward, he should not count with a bracha, because we need Tamimais. It needs to be a complete set of 49 days, and you don't have it if you missed one day. So in fact, this is brought L'halacha L'maisa. L'chatchila we count at night. If it's already the next day, then you count without a bracha, because it's not the ideal way of counting. Right? So you don't make a bracha. The Rashita is not meant to count by day, but you can still continue counting the next day with a bracha. I believe because it's a sfek sveka, the double suffix involved. Firstly, perhaps you're yotze if you count by day as well. There's a Mishnah Menachos that you're yotze, perhaps that works. And number two, even if you skip the entire day, night and day, the Rashita is that you can still continue counting because every day is a separate mitzvah. We don't consider it like a one package. So there's double uncertainty here. Right, in a case where he skipped the night but he did it the next morning, there's a double suffix. Perhaps he's yotze in that way as well. And even if he's not, perhaps that will not prevent him from continuing to count, so we continue counting on the following day with a bracha. Interesting, Tosfos concludes with the Yiratzin. He says, after this verse, we say, Yiratzin she'ibana beis hamikdash. Why don't we find it said by other brach, by other mitzvahs? It's a shofar, lulav, where the shofar experience and lulav experience in the Beis Hamikdash was way more enhanced than we have it today. For instance, shofar in the Mikdash was even on Shabbos. Lulav was all throughout all 7 days. Minat Torah. We don't have that today. So why is it that Dafka by Sfiras Ha'ayim we say Yiratzin she'ibana beis hamikdash Meri Yemenu? So Tosfos says V'hainu time v'she'ein ata el haskora labinyan beis hamikdash aval shofar lulav ish asiyah. Now first we'll explain what Tosfos means like this. The Sfiras Ha'ayim nowadays, although it's a mitzvah Minat Torah, but remember it's meant to be connected to the actual bringing of the Aimah, which we don't have today. So we're missing a very vital element, very important component of this mitzvah package. We have the sphere without the asiyah. That's why we say Yiratzin she'ibana beis hamikdash, because the fact that we have to do an incomplete mitzvah evokes those feelings of yearning, and it brings about the remembrance, the askara. It's a good opportunity to daven that indeed in the future we should be zeichet to fulfill this mitzvah b'shleimus, something which we don't have the opportunity to do today. But when it comes to shofar and lulav, even in Torah, you are fulfilling a proper mitzvah, because the first day of Sukkot there's a mitzvah in Torah to shake a lulav elsewhere, wherever you are, even outside the Mikdash, shofar as well. So there is a proper fulfillment of the mitzvah of shofar and lulav, even bizman hazeh. Nothing wrong with what you're doing. You'd like to do more. You'd like to shake lulav all 7 days in the Mikdash, but what you're doing is a full mitzvah. Same thing by shofar, and therefore we don't add the yiratzin by those mitzvahs. Interesting pshat and Tosfos. Okay, continues the Gemara. Minol, let's go back to the first item. Kriyas HaMegillah. Kriyas HaMegillah takes place by Yom the entire day. Like we had on Amud Aleph, which indicates that it's a daytime mitzvah. L'kriyas HaHalal, Tichsiv b'mizrach shemesh avnevoyoi. You can read Halal from sunrise to sunset. Throughout the entire Yom. Until Lulav, Tichsiv L'kachta mechem b'yom harishon. Clearly, until Lulav has to be taken by day. T'kiyah shofar. Tichsiv Yom Tru Yelachem. It's a daytime mitzvah. Ulu Musafin Tichsiv Dvar Yom b'yomai. Korban Musaf is dafka by day. Ulu Tfilas Musafin. Why is it connected to daytime? Ki Musafin Shavi Rabban. Although Tfilas HaMusaf is only the Rabbanan, the Chachamim will masak in the Tfilah in line with the Zman of the Korban, which is a daytime experience. Ulavidi parim. What about vidi? All those parim, parhelam, davashal tzibur, etc. The yolav kapara, kaparim, yom kippurim. We connect it to Yom Kippur through Exer Shava using the words kapara. The Sanya. Gabi Yom Kippurim, v'chiper ba'adi bad beisay. By Yom Kippur it says the Kohen Gadol will be machaper, atone for himself and his family. The two ways to learn this. Is the kapara speaking about the kaparas Adam, the akrava? No, the kaparas dvarim akasim medaber. He atones by expression, by the vidi. And we connect that to the vidi of the other param, param davashal tzibur, parakar Mashiach, where there's a lashon of kapara as well. Just as by Yom Kippur, it's by day. There as well, it's by day. How do we know it's by day? The kapara b'yimamu, chsiv b'yom hazeh yechaper aleichem. It's clear that in Yom Kippur he achieves kapara by day. Asks Tosfos Akasha. Typically, vidui and smicha leaning on the carbon, all considered part of the same experience. And as we're going to learn soon, smicha certainly is a daytime mitzvah. So why does the Gemara have to bring another raya? That vidui Yom Kippur is dafka by day. Fact is that it's connected to smicha, which is a daytime mitzvah. Stace has a chiddush. Perhaps I can be machalik. You see, typically, anytime a person brings a carbon, he's saimech on it, he relates to it, he's mesvada, he turns it into his own personal representative to Hashem. He expresses his remorse, his tshuva, his aidah through the carbon. That's your typical carbon. Yom Kippur is different, because Yom Kippur is a Yom Kapara. The day requires vidui. It's not that the carbon per se is instigating, is generating the chiv vidui. Yom Kippur is man of tshuva and kapara. The vidui relates to the Yom itself, and perhaps, if that's the case, you can't do it the entire day. A certain system, there's a seder you have to follow. As the Gemara Yuma tells us, there's a system to the avodas of Yom Kippur. What comes first, what comes second. And therefore, says Tosfos, the Gemara has to bring a raya that no, even vidui Yom Kippur is kasha the entire day. No different than in any other vidui. Continues the Gemara, vidui maser. How do we know it's meant to be done by day? And nearby the pasuk says, we learn that it's a daytime mitzvah. So leaning on the carbon is connected to shchita. By shchita it says b'yom ziv chacham. So zvicha, shchita takes place only by day. By extension, smicha as well. What about tenufa? Waving the carbon back and forth. So by Omer, the pasuk says b'yom. We connect all the other menachos to Omer as well. Ulahagasha, connecting it to the mizbeach. Ishkas tenufa. Torah connects it to tenufa, which is only by day. Es min chazak noise v'heinef v'hikriv. V'hikriv means hagasha. Taking the kli with the mincha, just touching the mizbeach with it. So hanafa and hakrava go together, and just like tenufa is by day, as we just proved, hagasha as well. What about the other items? V'la malika, v'la kmitza, v'la k'tara, v'la zoya, d'chsiv, b'yayim tzavoyse es b'nei Yisrael. So he was mitzvah them, b'yayim. And the pasuk says, "Lahakriv es karbaneim l'Hashem b'midbar Sinai." How does that teach us these items of malika and kmitza, etc.? So perhaps let's go up to Rashi, 12 lines on the bottom of the Amud. B'yayim tzavoyse, lahakriv es karbaneim, v'chol han yakrov es karbanenu. Says Rashi Chiddush, all these activities, malika, kmitza, k'tara, and zaya, are variations of akravas hakarban. Why? Dila k'tara kemetz hakravi. What does the term hakrava mean? Hakrava means bring close. Bring close to what? To Hashem, by way of the mizbeach. So anything that relates to the mizbeach, directly or indirectly, is considered hakrava. Haktaras hakmitza is certainly hakrava. It's on the mizbeach. What about the kmitza itself? Ukmitza is k'shlak. We find the pasuk connects the masa kmitza to the aktar of the kmitza. So kmitza is deemed a preparatory act, an enablement of the akrava. You're making the kmitza of aktar. So that also is considered a akrava. What about the malikas oif? Malikasav aziyase ka'achas. We find that malika and hazaya go together. V'azayase yakravase, and certainly applying the dam on the mizbeach is the akrava. And again, the malika is enabling the dam for akrava. So it's considered akrava as well. Kabbalas dam hakrava karla. Likewise, receiving the dam of a carbon in a kli is also considered hakrava. You're enabling the dam from the Raman says. They're making dam into a carbon. What does a carbon mean? Something going on the mizbeach. So according to the first pshat in Rashi, b'yom sevoyis b'nei Yisrael, lahakar is karbaneim l'Hashem includes all carbon activities, things that are taking place on the mizbeach or immediately preceding the akrava of the mizbeach, things which enable the akrava. Inam, another pshat in Rashi is that the word lahakar in this pasuk is called tzorchei akrava. Anything which is needed for the akrava, anything which is vital, which is crucial for the akrava experience. You can't have a carbon without these things. Why then do we need a pasuk, a special pasuk for Agasha and Tenufa? Because although they're mitzvahs, but they're not mi'akav, don't disqualify the carbon, they're not included in the hakar's carbon name. Taisa asks Akash, he says, what about shchita? Why does the pasuk have to tell us that shchita is b'yayim? Isn't it a pretty crucial aspect of the carbon? So Taisa says, you're right, but shchita is lav avodahi. You see that even a non-kohen can do it. So although it's vital and it's needed, but it isn't technically classified as an avodah, and therefore perhaps it doesn't have to take place during the yom avodah. And that's why we need a special pasuk. Continues the Gemara 2 lines from the bottom. Given the saita this water to drink, only by day. Asya Torah. We learn it by way of Exer Shava using the word Torah. The Kohen performs his whole Torah, including giving her this water to drink. Elsewhere we have a pasuk, so we see Torah and Mishpat go together, and we know that Mishpat is Dafka B'yayim. Ma Mishpat B'yayim, Afkan B'yayim, just as Mishpat, conducting it in Torah, is only meant to take place by day. Rashi brings the Raya, Vayibem Achilas Banav. So inheritance, all Mishpat activities take place Dafka by day. Afkan B'yayim here as well. When we say Torah, whether it's in that pasuk or by us by Saita, Torah is connected to Mishpat, which requires Yom. Okay, so briefly, what did we learn? We have a machlekes regarding a katan reading the Megillah. Rabbi Yehuda allows, Chacham don't allow. We can't begin raya from those stories. Emi reading raya in a katan, and certainly you can't begin a raya from Rabbi Yehuda was a matzah. How do we define Yom and Laila? Yom begins at Aleis HaShachar, Laila at Seis HaGechav. We had a Mishnah with a long list of mitzvahs and activities, mitzvahs b'yayim, kasher kol yayim, and things which are mitzvahs b'layla, kasher kol alayla. All the best to you and hatzlacha rabbah.